Hello and welcome to another episode of the Contractor Grow Show. My name is Mark Lamberth. I am your host, and today I'm speaking with Jordan Marrale at Glass Act Cleaning in Davie, Florida. Jordan, thanks so much for being with us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, Mark.
Yeah, so really appreciate you making time for the show here, Jordan. I know you're very busy, and yeah, appreciate we're working through some scheduling stuff to get here. Really appreciate your time. So we were talking here before the show, and you got a really interesting story. I'd love to get into all of that. I'd love to start by hearing just what services you provide for your customers in Davie.
So we're primarily a window cleaning company. And so when we say window cleaning, we're talking about washing windows from skyscrapers to single family homes. And that also includes cleaning windows, right? So washing and cleaning kind of have two different meanings. Cleaning windows is kind of like making sure that everything that's on the piece of glass comes off and leaves it perfect. Washing windows, soap and water, make sure that all the dirt and grime is gone. But if there's stuff left on the window, like overspray or caulking or that kind of stuff, that's not really included in washing. So we do both. We actually prefer to clean first and then maintain with a wash.
I see. Okay.
So that's window cleaning. We also offer pressure cleaning, gutter cleaning. We do shutters, like accordion shutters. So we'll clean them. We'll re-grease them with a silicone base product, make sure everything works, check the locks and all that kind of stuff. And if there's repairs that need to be made, we of course make sure that we let the homeowner know. Same with even window cleaning. We're always checking the caulking and stuff around the windows, make sure that the weatherproofing is done right. There's no voids that are going to eventually lead to leaks. So we do our best to keep our eyes on that kind of stuff as well.
Okay. What percentage of the business is basically commercial versus residential customers?
I'd say we're probably 60-40 commercial to residential, but some months it's more residential than it is commercial, say November, right before Thanksgiving. We're getting a million calls, right? Mama coming in town. These windows need to be cleaned. Outside, right?
Hilarious. So that's the seasonal aspect, is when folks are going to have visitors at their house.
That's right. Yeah. Everybody cleans windows right before their in-laws don't. I don't know why that is.
Oh, man, that is hilarious. Never do that. Never thought about that. Fantastic. How many folks do you have on your team right now?
We have half a dozen guys that work out on our team consistently. Sometimes we bring in some guys temporarily, but they're only allowed to work for us if they're employees. We don't hire outside contractors and sublet. So.
Gotcha. And so for your 6 guys, do you send them out kind of in pods or teams? How does this work? Is it teams of 2 or 3?
Yeah, exactly. Usually it's teams of 2, sometimes teams of 3, depending on the jobs. And every once in a while, we've got giant projects where we'll just put all 6 guys on one spot.
And so you guys have to have some hardcore equipment, right? For climbing buildings and doing the commercial work.
Sure. Our equipment ranges on the high rises from ropes and bosun chairs and harnesses, right, to rappel and rope access to the windows, as well as tall ladders. A few of my guys, 3/4 of the guys are trained in driving high lifts, so they're all certified in that.
Okay.
And then we also use what they call water-fed pole, which is basically using purified water through our tanks, our system that cleans the water, and then we use a soft nylon bristle brush to agitate the dirt on the window, rinse it with that pure water, and when it dries, it just dries completely spot-free because there's no contaminants left behind on the glass. So it's a better way for us. Moves us a little faster along the line to cleaning a lot of windows. But it's also really better for the customer. Again, this is more of a wash, of course, but it does the frames, it gets the caulking better, and it just kind of cleans everything a lot nicer, and we never have any complaints.
Wow, amazing. So when we talked, Jordan, earlier before the show, we always like to talk about values and kind of get in a little bit further in just than the kind of, surface level stuff and find out what a company's really about. And we talked about some of your most important values. It kind of leads the company that is also literally part of kind of the shirts that you guys are wearing. Maybe you could just tell us about what some of the most important leading values are for Glass Axe.
Well, there's a lot of companies out there. There's a lot of options. Whether you're a contractor or homeowner, whatever it is, you're looking for somebody that can do the job relatively, financially fair in price, right? But at the same time, you want a company that you can depend on. If you've got some guys walking in and out of your house, coming in, cleaning the inside, so on and so forth, you want to know, like, hey, are these guys vetted? Are they good guys? What kind of people are coming to my house? So at Glass Axe, first of all, the most important thing for us is, 2011, I gave my life to the Lord Jesus Christ. And since then, I've been following him as my first and only most important love. And that trickles down to everything I do, including this company. This company was founded in 2012, and Jesus is the one who opened the doors for me to open the company. So from there, all of the guys, we pray together, we talk about God, but at the same time, because we have this relationship with God, our desire to do a good job exceeds what might be the world's regular, hey, yeah, I did a good job kind of stance. When we're doing work, we're trying to make that work perfect, understanding that, as I was telling you before, even on a big building, 30-story condominium, we're rappelling down and we're doing the window. We've got 1,000 windows to do that day. But when we get to a specific floor, that person, that condo owner looking out their window, that's their only window. So if we say, hey, look, we've got 1,000 of these to do, let's just hurry up and get them all done. That's not really fair to that person. That person saying, like, this is my window. This is the thing I'm looking out of. And the reason I agreed in the board meeting to hire you guys, shouldn't it be perfect? Shouldn't it be as close to perfect as we can make it? So that's kind of the value of, of having this relationship with God. We're all trying to do work like as if we were doing it for him directly. And because that's our, bottom line, we tend to do things pretty well.
Man, that's amazing. And you've even, you said that actually on the shirts that you guys wear, it's actually got a verse there. Tell me about that.
Bible verse. So, I wanted to make sure that people knew that we were Christian. And there's lots of ways to do that. But there's one verse that's been a real guiding light in my life. And that is the John 3:17. Now, most people know the verse 3:16, or at least have heard it, that God sent his only son. But 3:17 is the verse in which Jesus saves. So not only did God send him, but he sent him so that anyone who believes in him will be saved. And that's John 3:17. So
no kidding.
that's on our shirts.
I wasn't familiar that's the verse that is. Okay. Huh. So Jordan, I'm always curious kind of about the sales process and just about how companies are kind of functioning, but related to such a, strong value of yours, your walk with Jesus and your just deep belief and devotion. I'm curious, does this come up when you're talking with homeowners, such that, when you sit down with folks and you're just talking about, you have it on your shirt, but do you talk about this? Do you end up saying, listen, something else to know is that we're, a Christian company and those values are very important to us. And so, you'll know that when we're working here in your house, that's who you're working with. Does that come up in that way at all?
I got to tell you, Mark, honestly, I never was comfortable with doing it that way because I guess I don't want to sell us as him, right? Like I don't. There's like a separation in some way, and that is that we have Christ in us, and we're going to show Christ in our actions, less than than our words. So that being said, if someone says, hey, I noticed that you guys have that scripture on your arm, then I'm happy to, talk to them about it. And if I see something that, lets me know that they're interested in talking about that through conversation or whatever, then of course I love to have a conversation about God and about faith. But at the same time, I'm there to do a job. And I understand that not everybody shares our faith. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to still do an amazing job at that property. For me, it's one of those things that I don't want to push on people, but if they're interested to hear, I'd love to tell them about it. And the ministries that we partner with, right? Like Manna Share a Meal. Manna Share a Meal is a organization that's been around for 30 plus years. I get to be the manager of it now, and we get to feed people, probably 250 people a week through donations. So it's so cool to kind of partner with that, and those things kind of end up working out together, right? As we go out and people, oh, really? You feed people? I'm like, no, I don't feed people. It feeds people. I just get to be part of it, right? But it's such a cool thing to, say, hey, yeah, we're cleaning your windows, but part of the money that you're paying us is going to feeding people. So that's a pretty cool thing.
That's incredible. What a great story. So Jordan, here over the next few years, I'm just curious if you guys are looking to grow the business. Are you guys still kind of in growth mode, or with your team and stuff, is it kind of a nice level place and where you're at is perfect for now?
Well, as an administrator, it's always my job to look at, the pluses and the minuses, the red and the black, right? And what I've noticed is that Glass Act has been pretty steady on us on a 15 to 25, 24% growth every single year. Now, of course, COVID obviously was a little bit different, right? I'm sure I wasn't the only one going through some hard times during those years. But other than those years, 20, 21, 22, it started to pick up. We've done really well. We've continued to grow. And so last year we grew probably in 25 the most we have ever grown. I think somewhere around 30%, 31% growth in 1 year, which is gigantic, as most people probably know. But for us, that was great, and we're continuing to push and grow. We've hired more guys. We used to keep 4, now we keep 6. So we're always looking to hire good people and to keep them busy, right? Keep everyone feeding their families and paying their rents or mortgages, and moving on with their lives as well. So it's important that we're always getting new business. People move, people change their address, whatever, and change your management company, and we lose jobs. Not because you've done a poor job, just because you lose that contact. That happens. So you've always got to be looking to fill that void, as well as add more, right?
Absolutely. What is your service area here, Jordan?
Well, we service all of Broward County. We service like about half of Dade and half of West Palm, so south part of West Palm, north part of Dade. We do have some jobs that go a little further than that, and we're willing to do them because of the size of the job, and that it makes sense. If I can send 5 or 6 guys one day, it's about an hour and a half drive up to Tequesta or down South Miami, and it's one big job that everybody's on. We do it in a day and we leave. Sure, that's fine with me. But to go do a single family home in North Palm Beach, probably not going to make sense.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Well, what a great story, Jordan. Thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing your wisdom here. If folks are looking to get in touch with you, with your company, if they need some help with glass cleaning or some of the other services that you provide, what are the best ways to get in touch with you?
Well, if you want an overview of the services we provide, probably the best place is obviously the website. That's glassactcleaning.net. So you can just go on there. You can order service through there. If you happen to, fill out the form and order service through there, you automatically get 10% off. So that's a cool thing, going online. Of course, you can always call us. The number is not only listed on the website. Google obviously carries us. We have nothing but 5-star reviews. We're still south of 100, but we're always looking to increase those. And the phone number to reach us directly, 954-557-1385.
Okay, great. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, they've got a great website. They really list out all of their services well. So if you're in Broward County, North Dade, Southwest Palm Beach, get in touch with Glass Act Cleaning. They're based right out of Davie, Florida, right down the road from you. And their website is glassactcleaning.net. And their phone number is 954-557-1385. Yeah, Jordan, thanks so much again for coming on the show today.
Thanks, Mark. Love to be here. Thanks so much for having me.